Have you ever just stopped and felt like, yeah, I'm the one in the driver's seat of my own life? That feeling that you're not just a passenger getting carted around? Well, it turns out there's this really powerful theory that explains exactly that. How we actually steer our own lives, how we pick where we're going, how we navigate the journey, and yeah, how we handle all the detours. It's called the motivational theory of lifespan development, and we're about to dive in. So here's our roadmap. First, we're going to talk about what it really means to be the driver of your life. Then we'll look at the two basic kinds of control we all have in our toolkit. After that, we'll get into the art of optimization, basically how to choose the right goals. We'll map out life's action cycle and tackle those inevitable deadlines. And we'll wrap it all up with your very own toolkit for agency. Sounds good? Let's go.
All right, first up, let's zoom in on this huge idea that's really at the heart of everything we're talking about today, the power of human agency.
This question really gets right to it, doesn't it? The whole theory is built on this gut feeling that we're not just, passively floating through life. We are actively trying to shape our own path, to be the architects of who we become.
And that brings us to the core concept, human agency. Simply put, it's our ability to set long-term goals and then, actually work towards them. But the key part, the really amazing part, is that last bit. It's our capacity to stay on course even when things go wrong, when we hit roadblocks or face disappointments. It's all about persistence and knowing how to adapt. So, if we're the drivers, what are our controls? What are the pedals and the steering wheel? Well, this theory says we have a basic toolkit with two fundamental types of control. And this distinction is so simple but so powerful. On one side, you have primary control. This is when you act on the world to make it fit what you want. Think of it like changing jobs because you want a better salary. On the other side, you have secondary control. This is when you change yourself to better align with the world. This is like, say, learning to find value in your current job while you look for a new one. But, and this is a really crucial point, secondary control is not about giving up. It's not about just accepting defeat. Its entire job is to be the support crew for your primary control. It manages your motivation, it protects your self-esteem, it keeps you in the game so you can keep trying to change the world. In this theory, primary control always has what they call functional primacy. It's the main goal. Okay, so having the right tools is one thing, but knowing which goals to actually go after, well, that's a whole other skill. And that brings us to the art of choosing the right goals in the first place. The theory calls this optimization, and it's guided by three pretty simple but profound rules. First, match your goals to your opportunities. Go for things when the time is right. Second, think about the consequences. Don't let your pursuit of one goal, like a career, completely wreck your other goals, like family or health. And third, keep a diverse portfolio of goals. Don't put all of your motivational eggs in one basket. Okay, so we've used optimization, we've chosen a goal. What happens next? Well, pursuing a goal isn't just a straight line. It's actually a dynamic cycle with really distinct phases. Let's check it out. This is what's called the action phase model. It starts with goal choice. You're thinking, you're deliberating. Then you commit. You cross what some psychologists call the decisional Rubicon, that point of no return. The moment you do that, your mindset completely shifts into goal engagement. Now you're all about implementation. As a deadline gets closer, that can ramp up into an urgent phase. And finally, if a goal becomes impossible, you enter the goal disengagement phase. Each one of these phases requires a totally different way of thinking.
And just look at how our strategies change depending on the phase. When you're in goal engagement, your primary control is all about pouring in effort, time, and skills. Your secondary control is like your personal cheerleader, hyping up the goal's value to keep you motivated. But when you shift to goal disengagement, everything flips. Primary control means you actively pull back your effort, and secondary control does the exact opposite of what it did before. It starts to devalue the goal, telling you, it wasn't that important anyway. And it does that to protect you, so you can move on without your self-esteem taking a huge hit.
Now that last phase, disengagement, it's often triggered by one of the most powerful forces in all of our lives, the developmental deadline. Let's use a classic example, the goal of having a child. In your early 20s, that window of opportunity feels wide open. As you move into your 30s, the window starts to narrow, and that can trigger that urgent engagement phase where the effort really intensifies. But eventually, for biological reasons, the deadline passes, the opportunity closes, and the big question becomes, what now? There is a perfect analogy for this shift. Think about a lion chasing its prey. When the lion realizes the prey is just too fast, It doesn't just kind of slow down and jog for a bit. No way. It stops dead in its tracks and immediately turns around. The shift from full-on engagement to complete disengagement is that radical. It's a clean break.
And again, let's be crystal clear about this. This is not failure. Adaptive disengagement is a strategic, active process. You are deliberately pulling back your time, your energy, and your emotional investment to protect those resources. Why? So you can put them towards new goals, goals that are actually achievable. It's honestly one of the smartest, most adaptive things our motivational system does for us.
So, as we start to wrap this up, let's pull all these ideas together into a practical toolkit you can use for mastering your own life's journey.
So here it is, your lifespan toolkit. First, remember your agency. You are the driver. Your tools are primary and secondary control, the power to change the world around you and to manage the world inside you. Your wisdom, your GPS, is optimization, choosing the right path. And your roadmap is understanding the action phases, knowing when to hit the gas and fully engage, and just as importantly, knowing when to strategically disengage.
So, I'll leave you with this to think about. Looking at your own life through this lens, what goal is it time for you to fully 100% engage with? And maybe, more importantly, is there a goal that it might be time to strategically let go of, so you can free up all that amazing energy for your next great adventure?